Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Broku no Hero. Today is a review of the new Black Clover chapter 206. It just came out last night. And so, guys, my review, my analysis, it will contain, of course, manga spoilers by nature because I'm reviewing the newest chapter. So, if you don't want to be spoiled, then don't watch the video. If you don't care, then watch the video. But just read the damn manga, guys. The manga of Black Clover is absolutely amazing. If you do enjoy this video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, as well as to turn on notifications to be notified every time I upload a Black Clover video. And also, I will leave a link in the description below to Viz, where you can read the manga when it releases officially on Sunday. So I'm going to give a summarization, then a review, and then bring in my other thoughts of what this chapter means for the series. So this starts off, and Yami and Charlotte are inside of Yami's dark magic, like cocoon shell thing that he used several times in the series, and it's super small. But basically, Charlotte, her leg is over on top of Yami, and Yami's like, "Oh, usually I like this situation, but you know, this isn't a great time for it." So it was a kind of a funny back and forth. It would have been even funnier if that was a real Charlotte in there, to see her reaction to be so close to Yami. It would be absolutely hilarious. But unfortunately, it's just elf Charlotte, which is Charla. There's an elf inside of her who doesn't like humans, so not really much happened there. Now, it's really cool to see the first Wizard King arrive, and that Asta and Yuno both recognized him. Asta pretty much went crazy, which was pretty expected. And then Patri also recognized the first Wizard King. I mean, he did see him when he was a kid, so we should recognize him, especially since not that much time has passed for Patri. Asta also sees Sekre, or Nero, but Sekre, and he notices that Sekre looks familiar. So for somehow, some way, probably through the use of ki as well, Sekre looks familiar to Asta, so she somehow looks like Nero. Sekre uses her magic and fully awakens Licht, and then he finally thanks Lumiere for what he did in the past, because the first Wizard King, he's stopped Licht, pretty much saved the world. Finally, Patri and Licht would reunite, and Licht would give the wise words to Patri, saying that, you know, he nearly made the same mistakes once too, and he relates that, you know, at least Licht had somebody to stop him, and so did Patri. Patri had Asta and Yuno to stop him. And that was a really cool parallel there between Patri and Licht. It's, you know, Asta and Yuno, they stopped Patri, just like Lumiere stopped Licht many years ago. And then he says that Patri did well, and then hugs him, which causes Patri to tear up and cry. And finally, the first Wizard King and Licht team up. We've been waiting this for a while now. They're fighting the devil together. Now, what's really weird here is that you have the first Wizard King, who is not fully awakened, does not have his full power. Then you have Licht, who does have his full power. So just think about that going to the battle. This is not a full power first Wizard King, and they're both doing well. Also, the first Wizard King uses Monozone, which I'll talk about that later, but that's an important thing to bring up later. Both Licht and the first Wizard King are too fast for the devil to react to his word magic, and that further proves that Lumiere was faster than Patri. Even though people debated me on this many times, saying that no, Patri and the first Wizard King, they're probably the same speed. Nope, this 100% confirms, because this confirms that First Wizard King is far faster than Elf Patri. And people thought that regular Patri and the First Wizard King were the same speed, which I heavily debated against. Lumiere stabs the Word Devil, but then he gets his arm ripped off by the Trident, because the first Wizard King seemingly is in a weaker state, not only of mana, but his body is just a statue, not a real body. So it's pretty, like I said, it's pretty impressive that the first Wizard King, not even being fully resurrected or whatever, is on equal footing with Licht. But Licht and the first Wizard King are still not enough, and so Asta is thrown into the battle by Yuno, so that his anti-magic could counter. So that was pretty much a summarization. Overall, was a really, really good chapter. I'd give it probably a 9 or 9.5 out of 10. And it was just cool to see the first Wizard King and Licht to reunite, to see Asta see the first Wizard King. And then it was a really cool battle to see, you know, we've had these two very powerful characters of old teased for a while now, and now they're fighting together, and it's like they were just like naturals of fighting together. It's like they've been on the same team for decades, but really this is probably their first fight together. From what we've seen, at least, the only thing we've seen them team up is to stop when Tetsuya, her tornado, or whatever, her wind magic turned into tornado. That's the only time that Licht and the First Wizard King teamed up, and that was inadvertent. But overall, a great chapter. So I have some further thoughts to go over, and I do want to give a reminder that these are fan translations, and the official translations could change these talking points. So if the official translations heavily contradict what I'm saying here, I'll leave a pinned comment to correct that. One of the big things is that this shows that monozone is not a new technique, likely. It's likely a technique of old. There really wasn't much evidence to prove this prior. People would always say that monozone is a new technique because only the newer Magic Knights have shown to use it, even though this takes place in the era of new Magic Knights, so we don't get to see old Magic Knights fight. Either way, though, I know a lot of people were talking to me saying that Julius would defeat the First Wizard King in battle because Julius has monozone and the First Wizard King doesn't, but now we know that the First Wizard King does have monozone, so yeah, that makes it a lot more likely that he would defeat Julius. I have some important power scaling notes from this battle. So Licht, fully awakened plus non-fully awakened Lumiere, did a better job against the Word Devil than partially awakened Licht plus Yami plus Elf Charlotte, and they did a much better job. So they are a very powerful duo, and the First Wizard King is not even at his full power yet. So Licht's new speed and and also with, current First Wizard King, they're the fastest thing that the Word Devil has ever combated yet, because these characters are moving too fast for him to use his word magic. So that is crazy, but it's crazy that, Licht is fully awakened. The First Wizard King Lumiere is not, yet they're the same speed. So that means that if the First Wizard King Lumiere was at his full mana stores and probably in his regular body, then he would actually be far faster, or at least a decent bit faster than Licht. We also do need to keep in mind, though, that Licht does not have a Grimoire and is only using one of his 3 swords that we know of. So technically, he's not at 100% either, but I would argue that First Wizard King is at a lesser percent. It still is impressive, though, how strong the First Wizard King and Licht are so far. And since Lumiere is made of stone right now, he may have a weaker body overall. So these are not our full-powered god-tier characters yet. They're both not their full power, but they're still very, very powerful. So, like I was saying a bit earlier, this gives more evidence that Lumiere is stronger than Julius now that he is confirmed to have monozone. And also, the feats we're seeing from the First Wizard King right now, he's not fully awakened yet. And yet he's equal to a fully awakened Licht. He doesn't have a great body, so it's crazy that, how Licht and Lumiere are both far faster than anybody else in the series so far. And then, like I said, Licht and Lumiere are far greater than the team up of Licht, Yami, and Charlotte. And the Devil is seemingly even trying harder against them when they're actually fighting. So, yeah, I think this gives more evidence that, the First Wizard King in his prime would defeat the Wizard King from current age, Julius Novachrono. But I'm actually going to start working on a video which details that battle, the First Wizard King, Lumiere versus the 28th Wizard King, I believe, Julius Novachrono. In my opinion, I think Lumiere would win, but there's an argument to be made for Julius as well. But make a video on that. Don't know if I'm going to wait to see more feats from the First Wizard King. That's probably the best idea. I'm going to at least start working on it, like getting stuff written down for it, gathering feats, statement, scaling, stuff like that. But yeah, guys, that was it for Black Clover Chapter 206. I love this chapter. Let me know your guys' thoughts down below. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, as well as to turn on notifications. Hope you guys all have an amazing day. Plus...